Today is April 19th, 2025. A significant severe weather outbreak looms for Easter Sunday tomorrow with damaging winds, large to very large hail, and strong tornadoes, and some very heavy torrential rainfall this weekend could also cause some significant flash flooding. We're going to be talking about that and looking into the long range into late April, early May in this video. So make sure first and foremost, subscribe to my channel so you are updated with the latest and accurate weather information here on my channel. We do daily videos on this channel. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share this video with friends, family, and on social media. So let's look here at our risk area for tomorrow on Easter Sunday. We have an enhanced risk from western Illinois into Missouri and northern Arkansas, and this includes damaging winds, large to very large hail, and strong tornadoes. And it's all because of this trough down here into New Mexico. This evening is going to be ejecting into the Mississippi Valley as we go into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And this is going to be bringing a clash of the air masses, cooler air aloft with warmer air at the surface, and this is going to be giving us a severe weather outbreak. Now, this evening, we actually do have some severe weather in the short term, an enhanced risk in west central Texas where a severe thunderstorm watch is currently in effect until 10 o'clock late this evening, Central Daylight Time. And where we're also already seeing some supercell thunderstorms, but anywhere even in this yellow shaded color along the Ohio River, all the way up there toward Pennsylvania and southern New York, that is a level 2 out of 5, slight risk of severe weather where some winds, hail, and tornadoes will be possible. So let's go through the hazards and talk about them this evening. And we do have the potential for up to baseball-size hail into west central Texas and across the Red River Valley there into southern Oklahoma. That is the biggest threat for there. And then we could be seeing 60, perhaps 70 mile per hour straight line winds, especially in west central Texas. But that could also extend up there into portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley, the Ohio River Valley, and then into portions there of Pennsylvania and southern New York State. Now, we also have a localized tornado threat too. In the green, that's a 2% chance. In the brown, that's a 5% chance within a 25-mile radius. This covers areas like Abilene, over here into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, into Ardmore, Oklahoma, and up into the Fort Smith, Arkansas region and towards Little Rock. So we have a large area at risk for tornadoes. And let's start here. So as we go into this evening, we're going to see some supercell thunderstorms really begin to develop here across west central Texas and then up there toward the Red River into southern Oklahoma. And notice as those storms continue to grow, they're going to grow upscale into these big clusters in a complex that will also swing through a lot of the same areas over and over and over again this evening. So a flash flooding threat will begin to increase mid to late evening here this evening, and really take us into the overnight hours before a line of storms on a weakening trend after midnight approaches the Dallas-Fort Worth area and still could be packing a punch with some heavy rain, wind, and hail and an embedded tornado threat going into daybreak there on Easter Sunday. Now let's look here at the Ohio Valley and the Northeast. We do have that marginal slight risk area of severe weather, and it's pretty short-lived because our instability here as the sun sets will really begin to dwindle here, as you can imagine, as the atmosphere really stabilizes here as the sun sets and cools off. So the severe weather threat up there is going to be few and far between, maybe a couple of isolated severe storms across Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, up there into Pennsylvania, New York State, those areas. But really, I think as the sun sets after 7, 8 o'clock, we're going to start to see the coverage and intensity of these storms really begin to dwindle across those areas. Now, heading into tomorrow, Easter Sunday on April 20th, we're going to be seeing a severe weather outbreak, and it could be quite significant here from the Midwest down there into the mid-Mississippi Valley. And this is all because we have a trough that's going to be ejecting into the middle of the country right in time for peak daytime heating tomorrow afternoon and going into tomorrow evening. And it's bringing us the clash of the air masses with cool air aloft and warm, unstable air at the surface. So there is a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather in far western Illinois, much of the state of Missouri going into northern Arkansas there, with the marginal and slight risk area actually nosing its way closer to the Davenport Quad Cities region and into Peoria. So we're keeping a close eye on that. The biggest threats there tomorrow will be some tornadoes. Could be seeing a potential of a couple of strong tornadoes that could be on the ground for a long period of time, especially in this yellow shaded color. That's a 10% chance of tornadoes. In the brown, a 5%, and the green, a 2% chance of tornadoes within a 25-mile radius. And then looking at the secondary threat there of some straight line winds, 60 to 80 miles per hour. And we're also looking at the potential for some hail. At least the hail threat tomorrow looks to be a little bit less significant than it has been the last couple of days. Now let's look at the surface maps as we go into tomorrow morning, because we're going to have a lot of ongoing showers and thunderstorms across the southern plains, the central plains, and the mid-Missouri Valley. And this is actually going to hinder a little bit of our destabilization early tomorrow morning for robust thunderstorm development. The expectation is, as we go toward the noon hour tomorrow, midday on Easter Sunday, the rain shield will start to lift north. So Chicago will get in on the rain, Des Moines, Kansas City, and then we'll have a little bit of a lull in our action here across portions of western Illinois, much of Missouri, and northern Arkansas. That will allow the atmosphere to destabilize. If the sun comes out, that will further energize the atmosphere for storms tomorrow afternoon. And then after about 2, 3 o'clock, we're going to see a QLCS, a line or a broken line of some embedded supercells, tornadoes that could be strong, and we also could have some straight line winds and hail with this, along with a heavy rain flash flooding threat. So a lot of storms are going to be producing some hazards out here from western Illinois into Missouri and into Arkansas, and that'll really just continue into the evening hours. Some of these storms will take a run at Rockford, Chicago, Peoria, and Springfield, but I think they'll be on a weakening trend as it's an unfavorable time of day. The sun is going to be setting tomorrow evening after 8 o'clock, and we're going to be seeing, again, just like we see in the Northeast today, the atmosphere stabilize here and cool off after the sun does set. Now, this is going to be a widespread heavy rain producing system as that trough ejects into the middle of the country here, and we could be seeing some areas of 2 to 4 inches worth of rain from North Texas into east central Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, and southern Missouri. So flash flooding may be quite significant in this area. In fact, the Weather Prediction Center has issued a moderate risk for flash flooding for southern Missouri, northwest Arkansas, east central Oklahoma, and northern Texas. So this is an area where significant flash flooding here is possible. So something to keep an eye on as we go through the rest of this Easter weekend. Now let's look at our temperatures that we achieved this afternoon. A lot of 80s here and upper 80s across the southeast, even some 80s up there into the mid-Atlantic and northeast as well. 90s down there in dry Florida. And as we go into Easter Sunday, there's no reason to believe the 80-degree weather will be going anywhere anytime soon, as the cold front hasn't come through yet. Notice areas in the Midwest, though, we're going to be seeing into the 50s. Low clouds on Easter Sunday, some rain showers, some thunderstorms. That'll keep our temperatures down into the 50s there on Easter Sunday in those areas. Now, heading into next week, Monday, April 21st through Saturday, April 26th, above normal temperatures will continue across the central and the eastern U.S. Below normal temperatures, or at least normal for this time of year, will be out west. And we look at the influence of the ridge. Again, a lot of these times, this time of year, the ridges of high pressure bring a lot of sunnier weather and a lot of warmer weather, and that's what we see in the eastern U.S. Troughs, though, coming in from the west coast and moving into the western side of this ridge, which would be the Great Plains, could be giving us some pretty active weather. But let's look here at our temperatures next week, because spring-like weather is here to stay. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just endless days there of 60s and 70s across the middle and eastern two-thirds of the country, and a lot of dry weather in Florida. Drier ground heats up faster than a wetter ground does, so we're going to be well into the 90s for several days in a row. Southern Georgia, southeastern Alabama, and much of the Florida Peninsula going into next week. Now, it's going to be an active pattern. Like we mentioned, we got the ridge out east, but troughs coming in off the west coast will be giving us more of a clash of the air masses again, and right in between the central, southern plains, the lower Mississippi Valley, going to be very active as we go through the 21st through 26th time frame, and a lot of instability building here, but there's not really a big synoptic storm system that's going to give us a major severe weather outbreak. So really what we're going to rely on for storm potential will be peak daytime heating, the sun heating up the surface, making it unstable, maybe a dry line, maybe a warm front of some sort, but really there's not any big forcing mechanisms for these storms to really get going in a big outbreak as we go into next week. Just those pulse type thunderstorms that develop late in the afternoon and early in the evening and then fall apart as the sun sets. But even so, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of heavy rain out here from the central high plains into the southern plains and lower Mississippi Valley. An area that's already hard hit the last couple of weeks and hard hit the next couple of days will continue to see rain into next week. And this could be on the order of, again, another 1 to 3 inches of rain in a widespread variety. Now, going into the last few days of April, Saturday, April 26th through Thursday, May 1st, the warmest of our air will be across the heartland, or what we call the ag belt here in the United States. And that is going to bring the clash of the air masses once more as more troughs come in across the western United States. And once that moves into the plains, it's going to clash with some warmer air with that ridge centered across the east here and cooler air in the west. And the Great Plains is an area where that will come together. So severe weather and heavy rainfall here will be much more likely across the Great Plains, even further north this time into Nebraska, the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Iowa getting in on some action as well during this time frame. And like we mentioned, severe weather will be a big player here. This is the accumulated supercell composite parameter space. The brighter the colors, the more conducive the environment for severe weather. And notice that's all the way up into South Dakota, parts of Minnesota, Iowa, northern Illinois, and all the way down the Great Plains, especially in the red, from Nebraska southward into Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. So we'll be keeping an eye on that environment there in late April. Just in general, here's all the rainfall we're going to be seeing as we go through the rest of this month. And it's going to be plentiful out there, enough for flash flooding going all the way through Thursday, May 1st. Some areas there in Texas, a lot of central and east Texas, southern Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, northern Alabama, and western Tennessee. We could be seeing areas of 12 to as much as locally 18 inches of rain here with numerous rounds of severe weather and heavy rainfall going through the rest there of April. Now let's peek into the first half of May here. This is the experimental week 3 and 4 temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. May 3rd through the 16th looks warmest out west and across the south central tier of the United States. Equal chances of above or below normal temperatures there for the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and the Northeast. We look at our precipitation, it looks to be lifting a little bit further north, and that's kind of in line with climatology for the early and middle portion of May. Above normal rains lifting more into the central and then northern plains and more of the Midwest there into the Ag Belt region, and that is a little bit troublesome potentially for the farmers that would love to get into the fields here anytime soon, but great for the drought monitor, right? Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, parts of Illinois there, and even the Dakotas could use a good drink of water. I think we'll get some of that as we go into the first half of May. Unfortunately, though, Florida is below normal with precipitation and with a significant drought developing, especially in central and southern Florida. Yeah, that's going to continue to get worse and intensify, I do think, during the first half of May with a lack of rainfall in those areas. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like the video down below, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel for the latest accurate and reliable weather information on YouTube, and I'll see you all in the next video.